I'm Chris Berman. Let's get straight to the action. In our first game this week, we had the Giants come away with a 7-point win. In a long-standing AFC rivalry, we had the Steelers win their 4th game of the year. We had a big injury in this one, and Trey has the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Chris, thanks. In front of you, we've got the AFC Infirmary Report. And as you can see, they were hit hard this week. This guy sticks out on this list as one of the more costly injuries. X-rays revealing that a broken foot is the report. He'll be out for the rest of the season. In front of you, we've got the NFC list. And as you can see, they could form their own MASH unit. Brian Westbrook is probably the one that most leaps out at you. The team doctors have reported a pulled hamstring, and he'll be out for the rest of the regular season. There's a chance, however, they'll get him back for the playoffs. Now, on to even bigger news, as you may have already heard. Jerry Azuma will miss the remainder of the season. So now that secondary is going to have to really come together if they're going to make up for his absence. Now we'll move on to our top story of the day. Todd Heap is going to be watching from the sidelines for a while, as his injury will deal a major blow to this team. So that'll do it for now. Chris, let's send it back to you.
The Jaguars won this contest and will now move to 3rd place in the AFC South. Marshall Faulk had yet another productive game, keeping his streak alive, but in the end it wasn't enough to get the win. Charles Rogers hauled in over 150 yards receiving and helped his Lions beat the Bears. Redskins, Cowboys. Help. Sean Springs would come up with a huge play here as he was able to pick one off here, then had some clear sailing in front of him. The Redskins win this one by the final score of 49-24. In the city by the bay, San Francisco, we had the 49ers get plowed under by 30 points. We had an interesting free agency pickup of note here. Trey's got the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Chris. Let's switch gears and talk about players that'll have new homes in the National Football League, as free agency continues to play such a huge role in determining a team's makeup. Rushin Jones is going to find himself with a new club, and he'll be in a new tax bracket too. 3 years, $1.9 million.
Over at the RCA Dome, we had the Colts come away with a 7-point win. The Saints went to the air for over 350 yards in their win at New Orleans. The Panthers lost on the road, but will get to head home and meet the Saints. Raiders, Chiefs. Priest Holmes would certainly like to help his team get into the end zone. And he's set 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage now. Looks to bounce outside, does so, gets a block, touchdown, 10 yards. The Chiefs go on to win this by the final score of 52-45. In a long-standing NFC rivalry, we had the Packers pick up their 8th win of the year. The Patriots won this contest, but will stay at the 1st place in the AFC East. The Cardinals drop yet another game and are really struggling on and off the field. Garrison, first I look at the Hearst, was responsible for over 150 yards rushing and helped his Broncos beat the Titans. And in our final game, we had the Dolphins come away victorious. So let's change things up a bit and turn to a guy that's had his eye on the college game, and that's our own Mel Kiper Jr. He joins us now. Mel, your work never ends, I know. Believe me, I know better than anybody else. But it's never too early to start thinking about next year's draft, is it?
Well, you're absolutely right. And with the college bowl season upon us, a lot of guys view their upcoming bowl game as more or less an open audition for NFL scouts everywhere. Brewer is one guy I look at has come a long way the past couple of years to be where he is now. 5'9", 203 out of Ole Miss. And this is a guy that's shown absolutely blazing speed in his ball games this fall. His closing speed combined with his quick feet and hands have scouts salivating over his potential. Hampton is another guy that's starting to make some noise with a terrific senior season. He was a virtual unknown coming into this year, but people are starting to project him to have a solid NFL career. I'm starting to jump on the bandwagon as well. So that'll do it for now, but expect there to be plenty happening between now and April.
Yes, indeed, just 1 week to go and the playoff picture's starting to take shape. But still some areas that'll need to be cleared up next weekend. We'll start with a look at the AFC playoff picture. Meanwhile, let's take a look at how things stand over in the NFC. So that's how we stand to this point. Still lots of jockeying left to go as we get this thing sorted out for January. So that'll do it from here. Boomer, we send it back over to you.
And that'll do it here for Pivotal Week 16. As always, plenty of surprises to go around and plenty of intrigue still to come. My primetime players each took his team to the next level, and each is going to take home a game ball. Great work, fellas. That'll do it, sports fans. I'm Chris Berman, and thanks so much for joining us here in the Bristol studios. We'll see you next week right here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.